Welcome back for another round of product updates. Let's jump right in. With the new X integration, you can manage and schedule tweets directly from your project, making social media management easier than ever. Let's first schedule these tweets and set the due date one day apart from each other. Now, all we need to do is add a quick automation. Click on Automation below the project title and select Task Due. We want this automation to run on the assigned due date. We'll keep our trigger as is and add the new Create Post action. Make sure to connect your account, enter the tweet in the text field, hit Save, and activate the automation. And that's all you need to schedule your posts. It's the most straightforward and simple way to manage your social media account, yet powerful enough to expand to fit your custom needs. Let's move on to the new custom field trigger. When the status of a project changes, we can pair it with a filter to perform an action. Say we wanted to post a message to our Slack channel every time there's a new post. We can configure this by clicking Automate and selecting Task Custom Field Updated. For the trigger itself, we just want to watch the status field. For the action step, we can configure what to do depending on which status is used. Either a simple filter or branch action can be used to configure out workflow. Let's use the branch action to check if the status is set to posted, then send a message to our Slack channel. After you're done setting up your conditions, click Add Step along the first branch and choose Send Channel Message via Slack. Then we just have to connect our account, choose a channel, and type in our message. With the branch action, you can build complex workflows with just a few clicks, add agents into the mix, and automate multiple projects. For the second branch, we'll just set it to fallback and skip it for now. And that's the all-new Custom Fields Update trigger. We hope you enjoy this new addition and look forward to your feedback. Up next are improvements to public agents. Since the release, we've included support for both light and dark themes and custom backgrounds. Custom backgrounds allow you to create stunning public agents that provide a more on-brand experience. We plan to make big changes in the coming releases, so please subscribe to stay up to date. For the final update, we'll cover agent tools. We've improved the tool selection screen to make it easier to search, create, and manage your tools. Let's show you the new Assign Task tool. Add it to your agent and hit Update. As a quick example, we'll ask our project manager agent to assign one of the tasks to Emily and then approve the change. The agent will automatically find the task and assign it to you. This is a simple example, but you can combine multiple tools and even create multi-stage workflows. This wraps up our product update for now. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
Let's make ourselves big. Why are we so small? Okay.
Seriously.
You know what? You got to get out of here. Let's get this guy out of here. Just gonna delete it, and then I don't know. Let's get back. What is going on? It just wants to like have. No, I don't want you little. I don't want you little. Narek, come back. All right, we'll stick with this for now, guys. Okay. Well, sorry about that awkward intro, but welcome to another Taskade live stream. Thanks everybody for being here. I was out sick last week, so thanks Narek for holding it down. Just if you guys want to check out our previous live streams, best place is on YouTube. I'll throw a link in the chat. But if you're on YouTube right now, then great. Then you know the best place probably. But if you're not, if you're watching this elsewhere, I think we've done about 5 or so by now. And yeah, we do these every week. So Thursdays, 4 p.m. And we go through anything that's new with Taskade. So, the team is just shipping like crazy right now. And so there's always a lot of new things to cover. If there's not anything new, then, like last week, Narc like kind of walks you through some use cases or little mini tutorials or just takes questions, just Q&A. And yeah, it's been super fun and we love to keep these really lively. So please do throw things in the chat. If you have any questions that pop up, we'll try to get to everything at the end. But yeah, we have a lot of really cool updates actually today. So I'm pretty excited to share those with you. My favorite is the automate Twitter/X. I know it's X now. But some
Yeah.
people still call it Twitter. So here we are. So anyway, so X, formerly known as Twitter. And I've been waiting for this one because it's getting me a little bit closer to my actual dream. Like my actual real dream with AI is to just replace myself so that I don't have to like go on X because I'm an X creator and like tweet and write stuff. I don't think it's fully possible, okay, but this is like my dream. But we're
You're
one step
irreplaceable.
closer. Right? I know. I'm just too good. Like I've tried to automate myself and it just hasn't worked yet. But we're one step closer today. Okay, so at least we're one step closer to my dream. And a 1,000 more steps, and maybe we'll be there, where I can fully clone myself and just go and just sit by the beach and not have to tweet anymore because like I'm sick of it. But I just want to keep
Yeah.
going. I just want to train an agent that's exactly like me on all my tweets and my posts, and like that would be the dream. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, guys, but we're one step closer. So we have automation with Twitter and X, and then a few other cool updates too. So Narek, I haven't let you speak at all yet. So what's going on? What's going on with you? What's on your mind?
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a few use cases that just kind of are in addition to the ones that we already kind of showed in our newsletter video. And yeah, I think like what we can just do is just kind of go either share the what's it called, the product update post on our blog, and then afterwards we can just kind of like address each one of these one by one and kind of show you a few ways that I would probably use these.
Sure, sounds good. So let's pull up our blog, and I will link you guys just in case. It's a good place to actually keep up with everything. Taskade, like I mentioned, we're just like these updates are insane. They're coming in all the time. I can't even keep up with it. I don't, it's wild.
I
But
feel
this
you.
is where you can keep up. If you want to bookmark this to know, like, hey, did Taskade do anything new recently? Then you can just bookmark this and check. And probably we did. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead and pull that. And then I'm gonna pull up the latest newsletter, which was released today. And hopefully this works okay. We can kind of just go through it, just like do an overview, and then we'll go through a use case. All right, cool. Let's pull the sucker up. Okay. So let's just go through these. I mean, really, yeah, the first one is what I was talking about. It's fairly straightforward, but basically now you can use Taskade to automate your posts on X/Twitter. And you can, actually use AI and AI agents in a workflow as well. And so we're going to show an example of that, or Narek is in a moment, but I think this is pretty awesome. We're not like fully there yet. Like you can't post videos or pictures quite yet. As far as I know, right? It's just text.
Yeah, so far it's text, but I think the natural like iteration or upgrade is basically to eventually support text, and I mean not text, video and images and stuff too.
Yeah. So for now, you can schedule text, tweets or posts without leaving Taskade. So this is pretty awesome if you're somebody that wants to update your company's X account. Great. If it's for your personal, that's something that you can create a workflow for. If you are a social media manager, if you're in marketing, if you need to constantly update, the X account, then this is a great way to do it. So we'll go through a use case and an example in a moment, but I'm super excited about that. And then this is pretty cool. So with AI agents, last newsletter, which was like a couple weeks ago, we basically released public AI agents. So you can share your AI agents now.
Mhm.
You can, basically embed them in a website or just share them with somebody. And we're making them we're just kind of making the UI or the UX a little better and just making them super customizable. So this update essentially added backgrounds. So you can do custom backgrounds. Let's say you want to embed your agent on your website and you want it to match your website. You don't want it to look like, ridiculous when it's on there. You want it to look professional. Now you can actually edit that. Or if you want have your branding or logo, that's all available now.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few other things that I like just from user calls and also just community responses and feedback. I came up with a few other things that we could probably use this for, and I think people would find it really interesting. I'll
Super
explain it a
awesome.
little bit more after.
Yeah, for sure. So we're just doing a quick overview here of some of the latest updates. But yeah, that's awesome. This is also cool too. This is custom tools for your agent. So I mean, maybe you can explain that better, Nark. But what
Mhm.
right now, like when you create an agent, it comes with like a few preset, tools, right?
Yep.
But now we essentially made them more customizable. And you can kind of create your own. But how would you describe it?
So this is almost like you define a few variables. It sounds technical, but it's not super difficult. But basically, what you can do is you can define a few variables, and then when you're interacting with the AI agent, it will actually reference those variables from your prompt, and then it will run the action with your approval. So you can define a series of steps, almost like an automation that you want the agent to trigger,
Okay.
and then from there, it will use whatever variables it collects from your prompt
Mm,
and then it runs the automation once you approve it.
okay. Okay. I love it. Little bit beyond my scope, a little bit beyond my pay grade, guys, but I love it. I will try it at some point once I master agents. I'm gonna go back to Agents 101 first, and then I'll go back. This one's super cool too. So you can automatically assign tasks with AI now. So a lot of people have been asking for this. It's probably one of the most requested features is to have the agents actually interact with things on the table and tasks.
Mhm.
And can the agents actually like complete a task or interact with these tasks? And up until now, it's been kind of like, not really. Like maybe you can work around, but we're getting closer now. So how would you describe this one, Narek?
So this is kind of like it's a series of steps towards what you just described, what we're trying to get to, where essentially you can handle and edit your project from your agent chat. So you could tell it, hey, assign these tasks to this person, hey, push back the dates for this time, or set these due dates. And if you even tell it something like, hey, create a project plan or a content calendar, it should be able to kind of create these due dates and deadlines for you. And it's just a natural
Mhm.
progression of
Yeah.
working with AI agents, especially within Taskade. And this is kind of like the first series of steps towards that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I'm excited for it. I mean, you can see the vision with a lot of these updates. Like maybe you might try it out and think, yeah, this isn't quite there, guys, but you have to see the vision,
Yeah.
okay? Because we're thinking like 10 steps ahead and we're constantly trying to iterate and like make it a little bit better. So all of these are just getting a little bit closer to our goal, which is, autonomy, as our CEO John says
Yeah.
that we're trying to reach that, that perfect balance of AI agents, automation, and the human element, and get that together to where you can feel like, this agent can actually work for me while I'm sleeping or doing something else. So that's what we're getting to. Yeah. So this one is another step closer to that. So automating tasks with custom fields. So um, essentially changes that are made now to custom fields will basically like create workflows.
Yeah.
Right?
This is kind of like the other half of our previous update. So on our previous update, what you could do was you could change a custom field, but now what you can do is whenever a custom field is changed, you can trigger an automation as well.
Cool.
So they almost function like a basically like an automation
Okay.
trigger at this point. So for example, if you have a series of process or you have a series of steps that you always do, you can just trigger that based on an automation, like a status change. So if you want to follow up, you can change the status and it'll run your process for following up.
Okay. Okay. Sweet. And That yeah, that is pretty much it, except I do want to point out that we have LinkedIn AI agents are in beta. So if you go to our LinkedIn, Twitter, X slash and Reddit, and you just go ahead and reply to one of our posts with LinkedIn automation, we will reach out when those are ready. So basically when it's ready rather. So LinkedIn automation is the next one that's coming. Probably will be just text based at first and same as
Mhm.
X and improve over time. But we're super excited about that because that's probably one of our main just channels. Like the people, our users are on LinkedIn mostly, and then X, and then Facebook group too. But anyway, so that's super exciting, and I'll probably stop sharing my screen now. And Narek, if
I'll take
you
over
wanted
from
to
here.
take over, yeah. And we guys do see your questions coming in, you guys. Keep them coming. Any questions, we will cover that in the Q&A, okay, at the end of the show. After Narek shows us this really awesome workflow using our new X integration. So let's pay attention.
Yeah, so I'm gonna run through a few different workflows, but the first one that I kind of want to add in on top of the one we showed in our update video is basically you can now kind of automate product or video announcements, right? So what you can do is if you go to automations, see I'm in my marketing folder, I'm gonna choose this automation. I could set it up where if I have a new YouTube video, so we have the channel over here, I have a new YouTube video from Taskade. I'm going to transcribe it. So I'm just going to take the transcription from it. And then I have my social media agent run its command, which is create a post for X for a new video. And then I just provide it with the YouTube content. So over here, if I just do, I'm going to just delete this just to show it. If I do content, which is what we got from our transcription video step over here, and then just the YouTube URL, just the link over here. I can then connect my X account over here and then just automate that post. So this kind of speeds up that whole thing of like you having to go into an extra interface and then kind of posting every single time, making sure it's scheduled for the right time. This just does it right after. So once there's a new YouTube video, it'll take that video, it'll take the transcription, summarize it, and then create a post on X after 15 minutes. So
Wow.
you can automate this in other ways too. So
Hmm.
it doesn't only have to be YouTube. You can do it this way too. So duplicate this.
Yeah. What else could you use?
You could do RSS feeds as well. So for
Okay.
example, if you have an RSS feed such as your own blog feed or anything like that, what you can do is again, I can run my agent command. I would have to create a new one over here. So I'm gonna delete these. But essentially, I would be able to say create a post for X, and then afterwards, same concept, same flow. Take the information from the content from here and then create a post about it. So if you're posting blog articles on your website, most blogs have an RSS feed. You can just run that through this and now it's auto posting and promoting your blog as well.
Awesome. And will it, I mean, is it going to include a link?
If you want to, yeah, you can add the link over here. So
Okay.
in this specific command, I've specified whenever I provide you with a link, you include that into the
Okay.
post as well. So
Okay.
structuring the command is also another big thing, but that's kind
Yeah.
of like the value add of Taskade, where you train
Yeah.
your agents, you set your process up once, and then from there you don't really have to go and like tinker with it as much anymore.
Okay. Okay. And can you use other things other than like I know there's RSS feed or like all
hmm
that stuff, but does it have to be something there or can you use like what would be like a webhook or
hmm
some other okay.
Yeah. So the other thing that you can also do is you can have your own webhook. So
Mhm.
if you have specific parameters that you want to put, so one of these might be like content from another place,
Yeah.
you can pass these down and
Okay.
again just create it. Another big one is you can actually automate it completely. So you can actually do schedule and have it post something every day or every week or every month. So you can say choose something random from a list of topics on your in your project and then your agent can essentially create a post and then post
Okay.
it onto Twitter. So
Getting close, getting
yeah.
closer, getting closer to cloning
You can create,
myself.
yeah,
But
exactly. You can
but
create
yeah,
yourself, clone yourself, and then schedule them to create posts, and then
gosh, I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know if my agent will be funny enough to make it work for me, but we'll
can
see.
never
We'll
match it.
see. We'll see. I don't know. Humor is not the strong suit yet. Yet we'll see. Okay, well, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
super cool workflow. Yeah, I do see some stuff in the chat. Keep that coming, and if you have any questions, let us know. But yeah, we'll keep moving along.
So that kind of covers the whole X automation part. Next thing that I kind of want to talk more about is how you can use the latest trigger to really help with your sales process. So this is great for CRM or lead tracking purposes. So actually, the way I would set this up is starting from automations. So you can start with having a contact form. So Taskade, since it supports AI forms, one thing that you can do is create a contact form. I'm just going to change the submit. And over here, you could see I've defined the fields. So I have full name, email address, phone number, and I'm going to make some of these required actually. Um, and from here, once I have my form, I can ask my agents or any AI in general, I can ask it to score leads. So based on the provided information here, score it out of this, and then you can see the inputs over here. I can
Okay.
have it then take the lead score that it generates and say what kind of match it is. So whether it's high value, medium value, low value, and then I can add it to my leads project.
That's
So
cool. Um, so with that and with like branching and stuff, is there a way to have certain leads that are scored a certain
mhm,
way go to certain people?
yeah, you can. So
Okay.
what you would do is when I do assign task,
Mhm.
I would choose whichever project, and then afterwards I would choose the user. Obviously, right here, I'm gonna choose leads,
Uh-huh.
and then I can do task ID from here, and I could choose myself. So one thing that you could do is if I do branch, and I can add another one, let's say. In this case, if I said, let's say for the categorized leads, if this matches or contains low value, oops, if it contains low value, then I want to assign that task
Mhm.
to this individual. Oops.
Yeah. That's where it gets pretty cool, I think.
So I can add the task
Yeah.
ID as
And
well.
could you also just have that step be just email them?
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you can assign it, or you can just
Yeah.
kind of skip this entire process of assigning it and actually just,
Just send an email.
yeah, you can create a
Yeah.
draft email at this point. But
That'd be cool.
yeah, so I mean, in this case, if it's a low value lead, let's say,
Mhm.
you can do create draft email. Well, actually, let's add.
Oh, I meant send an email to, like I mean, I guess you could do it to anybody, but I meant send an
Yeah.
email to, like if you have a sales rep or
Mhm.
something that handles, like, all your low value leads or something,
Yeah,
and
you could do that, but easier
mhm,
way to actually automate that entire process is to actually have the sales rep agent. So creating your AI agent as a sales rep, having it
mhm,
trained on your knowledge, and then afterwards having them draft up an email for you
mhm.
based on whether they're a low value lead or not. So it would take their information, take that data, and then afterwards from here, you would parse that data. So you
Okay.
can have your own thing for, let's say, I'm gonna rename this path over here just so it's easier to kind of see. So I could say low value lead. For a low value lead, I want you to run through this process. For a high value lead,
Mhm.
I want you to, or a medium value, I would want you to run through this process. And then for this one, I can say for high value, I can run through a separate process as well.
Okay. Okay.
So you can definitely run through this entire place.
Okay.
But
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with that. I mean, you could
mhm,
even have, like if it's high value, you could get a text, you know?
yeah,
You could be
but
like, "Just text me."
if your sales process might need more human touch, you can remove these and essentially, I'm gonna delete that too. We can just add the task as a lead. So in this case, I'm gonna save my changes over here. So here, if I go to the share tab, where you can basically preview and interact with your form, if I type in my name, and I'm just going to put my email here, and we're just going to fill up some of these things too. I'm just going to put this, and I press submit. So it gave me the lead score and everything like that because that's how I've set it up. But from here, if I go back and I go to my projects, I go to leads, you'll see it added my name over
Mm,
here, added my email address, and then it also
cool.
said status over here. Now, that's just the intake part,
Mhm.
but I can do another automation where I basically say whenever a task is assigned, update the status to assigned. So in this case, whenever a task is assigned in my leads project, I'm going to save that. I want you to update the field to assigned. And this is really helpful because you're reducing the amount of clicks and it's a
Yeah.
standard workflow. So if I go back here, projects, go to my leads project, if I assign this task, it changes to assign.
Oh, sick. Okay, wow. And you set that up?
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
And then
Okay.
the other thing is now I can also trigger automations based on that, right?
Mhm.
So if my task field is updated, so I look at this, I choose the task custom field updated trigger. And then from here, choose whichever project I'm trying to monitor and then which field I'm trying to look at. So for example, in this case, I'm trying to look at the status and then choose the filter data option. Here, I'm going to choose the data that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the status. I want it to exactly match. And then from here, I want it to be assigned. And then once it's assigned, over here, basically what I'm saying is only trigger this whenever this is assigned.
Mhm.
So the status is updated to assigned. I can run a command where I say draft an initial outreach email for inbound leads. And what this will do is it will run the command for my agent to already, based off of the knowledge that I've given it, where I've basically given it everything it needs to know about Taskade, my services, and how I want it to draft an email. It will draft this email for me, and then it will create a draft in Gmail. And then from here, all I have to do is just go into my Gmail, review it, because I'll see the drafts, review it. If I like it, send it. If I don't, tweak some things and then send it again.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then the
somebody
last part of it would be to update the custom field.
okay.
So for leads, again, I'm just going to choose the task ID from here and then update the status and say something like contacted or email drafted.
Okay.
And then you would do save
Okay.
changes.
No,
And
that's
then we can move on.
awesome. Mr. D says if anyone automated the pipeline building process, they'd be immensely rich.
Yeah.
No learning curve, no need for tutorial videos, have the agent build it. Yeah, I definitely agree. We're not quite
100%.
there yet, but we're getting closer and we're getting, we're taking little baby steps closer to automating a lot of this stuff. I mean, of course, you do need, human touch still for so many things, obviously, but there's so much tedious work that goes into like the top of the funnel, right? It's just like
Yeah.
gathering these leads, organizing the leads, scoring the leads, as Narc is showing us, and then getting the lead to the right person. All of that stuff are things I think that can be automated, all of that tedious kind of admin stuff. You might not need an assistant anymore for that, or you might not need to hire a RevOps person for certain things if you can have, this functioning well. So we're getting there. We're getting closer, and I think it works pretty well for, like smaller businesses right now, and like those types of use cases. So it's pretty awesome. Thanks, Narek. That's great.
Course. Yeah, and then I think the final part of our updates to kind of run into is AI agents. So I think the biggest value add here, if I go into share, is that I can allow public access to AI
Yeah,
agents.
that's huge.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's huge.
and for public agents, there's a lot of businesses and people that aren't really familiar with AI, let alone AI agents. So you can actually offer this as a service to people, and this is a whole new area as well. Essentially, what you can do is, let's say I've created this social media manager. It can create captions, does whatever I need it to do, and it's creating on brand copy for my client. And I can offer this as a service to my client. I can say, hey, I will make sure that it's always generating copy that's on brand. If your brand is updated, I'll update the knowledge over here. I'll I'll basically train this agent for you and make sure that this agent is doing exactly how you want it to, exactly what you want it to do, and does its job very well. And once you have that, the other thing that you can do is you can do public access. And so with public access, there are a few modes that you can choose. Chat only, which is essentially if you just want to give your client access or an external user access to interacting and chatting with the agent without actually accessing its instructions and knowledge, you choose chat only mode. If you're trying to actually create a template, which is also a service that you can offer for someone else, so you could say, hey, I'll create this agent for you. You'll get the knowledge template, everything alongside with it. You can do chat and template and then do
Mhm.
copy knowledge.
Yeah, that's massive. Yeah.
And you can hide the branding as well. Theme, I usually like to keep this auto because if I'm on dark mode and you chose light theme, I'm blind for for the next
Or
day.
vice versa. Sometimes it can be annoying
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So there's that. And then background, this is where you can customize and really keep things on brand. So you can upload your client's brand colors as a background or really any image that you want. And then from here, you can copy the link. So if you want them to interact with it, you just copy the link, and I can just open it over here actually. And you could see that this is chat and template mode. So here you have the option to clone it, and I can still chat with it. So I could say like create a social media strategy and then add this here, and it can do this for me. So
Yeah.
you can now take whatever prompt you've created, whatever information you have, and whatever agents that you use in your day to day, and you can offer that as a service for other people to use too. Because there's a lot of people that, and this is what Taskade is great at, right? We try to remove the technical aspects of AI. So you can try to stop experimenting with whether AI is working or not, and you just get straight into using it. And then I'll
Yeah.
just give you a template preview of how chat mode looks. So this is what chat only version looks like. And from here, basically, you've created a tool for your clients to use, and they don't have to worry about how does this work? What am I doing? The knowledge isn't working. Like that's not their problem anymore. You've just given them immediate access to it, and then you can embed it as well. So if they have any sort of programs that allow for embedding or iframes, then you can essentially copy this, paste it into there, and it's quick and easy access for it.
Yeah. I mean, that's super awesome, you guys. Like, I wish I could I don't know. This is really, really cool. Like you can somebody made a comment earlier. Juan says, I'm wondering if sharing agents will let us monetize them at some point, and how many times can someone use it, for example, on my website? Thanks as always. I mean, yeah, I mean, like we can't tell you exactly, how
Yeah.
you can do that. That's up to you. But this is where we're going with it, right? I mean, think about just to give you an example that you probably are aware of is like Notion templates, for example, right? It's similar to that. Like it's similar to like how people can have like on Gumroad or something can technically sell like their Notion template. I
Yeah.
mean, there's really no reason why you can't start doing that with agents. Like, I mean, they might not be 100% perfect there, but they're pretty close. And like, you can make some really cool stuff already. And so it's kind of like, it's that concept that you want to think about.
Yeah.
Like, this is like something that you can share as a template now.
I think I would say it's even a step further because the main difference between, and I talk about how AI basically has kind of created these paradigm shifts in how you work. So one of the things is that before, let's say, I'll give you an example, right? If I'm in, let's say if this was for tasks, I have to assign these manually, like we mentioned this earlier, where I was like, oh yeah, you can set the status to assign because you're working with people. But if I can skip this process completely, I've just removed this entire workflow. Templates are static. So
Hmm.
creating templates, like that's static. Agents, the knowledge is dynamic.
Yeah.
So even if I can actually gatekeep this, this is a big issue with templates. If I provide you with a template, you can just copy and paste it. because it's static. Nothing changes there. So even if I am selling my templates, I can just copy and paste it, and you can just I can't do anything to stop that. Whereas with agents, I can just turn off public access to this. And if
Yeah.
I want to, yeah, I can give you the template over here and you could copy the knowledge, but it's going to be static for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to
It'll be
be the
stuff
one
there.
developing the knowledge. I'm going to be the one training it. So,
True. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, definitely it's beyond templates. I just meant, maybe it doesn't do 100% of what you want it to do
yeah.
yet. Maybe it's not like 100% where you want it to go yet, but it's really close and they are improving this like every single day. Honestly, they're working on agents constantly. So this will get better and better. So you feel like very confident, putting your
Mhm.
name on it, maybe selling it, maybe monetizing it, maybe, giving it to clients, all that stuff that you want to feel confident in. I think that we're super, super close and you can already try it and already start sharing it. So give it a go. I mean, I think you'll be surprised what these can do. Um, but yeah, so
I
what do
think
you
that's a
think?
nice segue into like the
Yeah.
final portion of our updates,
Yeah.
which are custom tools for agents. And tools, if people are tuning in and this is the first time that they're like hearing about agent tools, they're essentially additional functionality, or I like to think of them as like skills or capabilities for your agent. So, for example, I can search the web, it can extract and summarize content from links. I've added so it can send emails on my behalf with my approval, or it could create and draft emails as well. So, one of the cool things is that we already give you a whole bunch of presets, but you can actually create your own custom tool. And with this, what you're saying is, hey, let's say I have name, email. You define these parameters or variables, and the LLM is actually smart enough for it to extract those from your prompt. So they're almost like variables that it will figure that out from your prompt. And then afterwards, it will use it to trigger a series of steps. So, for example, let's just say I put name and email, and actually, I'm going to put website as well. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a step where I basically search the web, take their website, and I'm actually this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to scrape the web page that I provided. And then from here, I am going to create a draft email, and it's going to be to email. And actually, let's add my sales rep into this too. Let's see. Okay, wait. I'm in the wrong workspace. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to go into my sales, AI agents, and I'm just going to copy this agent over to my marketing. So you'll see my sales representative copy over here. Uh, and it's going to be tool for agent trigger. Oh, I forgot to save it. Anyway, we'll just starting from the topic. We'll have our name, we'll have their email, and then we'll have their website. And what we'll do is we'll say, hey, you are going to scrape the web page and you are going to use the website over here. And then afterwards, I am going to ask my agent. Actually, I'm going to run an agent command. I'm going to say draft an initial outreach email. And it's going to take the name. And it's also going to look at the content provided. And then from here, I could say create draft email, and it will be to this email over here. I can put something like Taskade inquiry, and then it'll be for I'm taking the email that it generated and I'm pressing save changes. And then I can turn this on. Oops, I forgot to connect my account over here. Save changes and then turn this on. And I could say something like enrich lead data, lead data, and personalize email for outreach. And this could be the tool. And essentially now what would happen is if I go back here and I'm chatting with my AI agent, I can edit this agent, tools. I've now defined a process and I can press add tool over here. And now if I provide it with a name, email, and website, it's going to scrape the web page, run my agent command, which is drafting an initial outreach email, and then creating a draft email. So it's basically taking a series of steps and defining it and creating your own custom tool with it.
No, that's awesome. Okay. I love it. I love it. Adrian has a question. What's the meaning of scrape web page?
So scrape web page, what it's going to do is it's going to visit the URL that you provided it with, and it's actually going to scrape it. So it's going to extract the content from there, and then you can use it in your automation steps.
Yep. So yeah, in this case, it's good for grabbing info from, about a lead. Let's say a lead comes in from a company, you're like, scrape their webpage, figure out what they do. Before I get on the phone with them, that kind of thing. Awesome. So yeah, what do you think? Should we open it up for some Q&A? Should we go through these or?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
definitely start addressing some of the questions that we received.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Well, this is really like a support question. Something to do with the update 4.4. Are you aware of this, Narek? Is there
Yeah.
an easy fix?
So we're still waiting approval on from the Mac Store, App Store, and what you can do is you can just let me share the link over here. You can just download from here instead. I'm just going to post the link here. So if you're running into any update issues or Mac app issues, you can just visit taskade.com/downloads and then download it directly from there. And that should
Yep.
work.
Yep. Okay, that's always a good thing, just in case. Thank you so much. All right, Brianna, hopefully that helps you. Hypothetical question. If we create team of agents like system architect, developer, etc., can we create a flow where one agent will create architecture, then two agents will develop on it?
Yeah, that's actually I've used similar stuff like this too. Not for software engineering purposes, but essentially what you can do is you create an automation and then you can have an agent trigger. Or if you have a series of steps as well, you can do that too. But essentially, let's say I'm gonna do a webhook and I'm going to say like website and email. We can have this information here, but what you would do is you do add step, and then you can just have agent commands for each one of those steps. So if you run an agent command, one of them could be the sale. I'm choosing sales rep, but one of them could be your developer, and or it could be your system architect. And your system architect can create the certain information and then afterwards pass that to your developer agent who can run his own command in this process as well. So in this case, I'm just going to rename this to system architect. And the cool part about this is that if you're using other automation tools, they usually have you like use prompts, which are kind of outdated at this point. Instead, you kind of can just train your agent that does exactly what you want it to and reuse it across multiple processes, as opposed to having static prompts where you have to, if you have multiple automations, you have to go and change it and all that stuff. Instead, over here, what you can do is you can have a developer over here. And if your system architect generates something from, let's say, the website, or it could be the requirements, then you can have your developer use the results from your system architect's generations.
Cool.
And you can have a whole bunch of commands added into this, but it will take longer as well.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Uh, okay, where does the customer view the agent chat window if it's not embedded?
If it's not embedded, they would just go to the link
The
that is
link, right?
provided. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back here and go to AI agents. If I do share, you can see this agent link over here. You can just copy that link, and there's a few ways you can actually do this. You can copy this link and give them a URL shortened. That way they're accessing it, and you could see when they access it. Or you could just give them the direct link here, and they'll be able to access it. And if you ever want to gate it, because let's say they didn't provide you for, they didn't pay you for the services or anything like that, you could just turn it off. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see here. I think that's about it. You guys have some more questions? Come on, guys. You guys have any more questions about anything at all? Let us know while you got us. But yeah, so far again, if you just joined late, we went through all of the updates. I'm just gonna actually just pop that link in there again. If you were not on earlier, this is the best link where you can kind of keep up with us. We have tons of updates that ship like every other week. So feel free to bookmark that and check it out. And we do these live streams every Thursday at 4 p.m. To give you guys a forum to ask any questions. Eventually we may have some power users join us and show their workflows. We're working on that. So, but for now, we're just keeping everybody updated, and we do some tutorials as well. Welcome to make requests if there's something that you want to see on these live streams. Feel free to just ping us on social. Like you can literally just leave a comment or mention something in chat. Let's see here what we got here. Hey, you did not miss it. We are still here. So, you didn't miss it. You didn't miss it all. Let's see, can you track links shared of agents?
Not at the well, let me ask this because I don't want to assume anything. Basically, are you saying you want to see how many times an agent link is reshared, or are you trying to see how many times an agent link is like clicked on or accessed? Basically, what kind of analytics are you looking for from the agent links?
Yeah, that'd be good to know. Let us know, Brianna. Let's see. Do you have a timeline for images and video generation in Taskade?
Not exactly. I think this is again one of those natural progressions of the tool, but not yet. And then actually, I see one comment here that I want to address because I think this is actually something that we should talk about too. I want to give oral or written fluid instructions, not point and click in the old way. That's actually something that we're looking into. And basically, if I understood you correctly, correct me if I'm wrong on this. What you want is you basically want to, similar to create agent, generate with AI, you want something like this where you can say, like, generate an automation for me for Slack. And it basically handles and processes all the steps and recipes for you. Did I get that right? I'll wait for the response.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if you did or not. Um,
But yeah, that's something that we're actually like looking into. Um, not as straightforward and simple as they usually say this, like simple things are really hard. So we're definitely looking into that, and we're trying to like figure that portion out too.
yeah. Let's see here. I guess that was the answer to the other question about
You
links.
shared, clicked, or you said you could turn off. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, just to say, just so we close that topic, yes.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's
There
something
we go.
that we're looking into. It's again next iteration on top of the product as well. But let's see. Reshared, clicked, or you said you could turn off. Yeah. So you can actually turn off public access. So if I do share, I can turn this off, and now I still have access to it. But if they didn't pay me for it, they didn't use it or whatever it is, I came into issues with them, I can just turn it off. So yeah.
Right on. Okay, let's see this one here. Can an automation fetch information from RSS and create a daily report for X news and then summarize it and create posts, I assume?
I mean, yeah, it can do that. I mean, it would depend on the extent of what you're trying to do, but we can run through that automation real quickly. So I can just do RSS feed. So whenever there's a new RSS feed over here, um, and create a daily report for X News. Next thing I can do is I could do, let's see, I can actually inject an agent in here. So this would actually be great for saying like summarize or whatever it is. Um, Summarize, and then afterwards you could set due dates for it too. So if I do not due dates, custom fields for it. So the way I would do it is essentially you have RSS feed come in. I would actually, instead of running an agent command, I would add that task to a project and I would assign its own custom statuses. And then afterwards, from there, if I have a due date triggered or change the statuses at once, I can essentially here. Let me run through this real quick. Projects, do new list, and then I'll say like X project. And then what I would do is there's a lot to see. Let me actually ask a little bit more information about this. Are you trying to take multiple RSS feed points and then summarize them and then turn those into an X post? Or are you just trying to have one post at a time? So if there's a new item in the RSS feed, are you trying to summarize that item one by one? Or are you trying to summarize 10 items at once and then post that? Because it's two different approaches to that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the point is both are technically possible though, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're trying to do multiple at once, you might need to manually choose one of the things in between. So what you would have to do is if I have, I'm just going to say something like, let me use this. And I'm going to do new chat, generate dummy data to add to this project. So let's say it generates this information. Whatever. Let's say it had this info right here. What you would do is for every single row that is basically in this, I'll do a table to be honest. For every single row over here, what I would do is I would run an AI agent command. So I would say like create a post or summarize or whatever it is. And then afterwards from there, what I would do, I mean, you could even chat directly with it. So I could say like summarize the information in this project. And then what it would do is it would create a summary for you. And then you would just post that essentially. So add it to a project and then post it using the same flow that our newsletter went through. That's for the summaries like that. But if you're just trying to do an automation with RSS feed directly, then you would just do RSS feed. So new item, RSS, and then you can just add your agent in between to summarize it and then make the post. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Hopefully that answers your
Yeah.
question.
That was a bit of a roundabout answer.
No, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, yes, it's possible. but,
Yeah.
Corey says, thank you for showing us the new products in a more detailed way. The little update videos are pretty fast. They are pretty fast. They are pretty fast, Corey.
We move
Yeah.
fast in
You
updates
gotta,
and
yeah.
videos.
They're pretty fast. The team's fast. We're fast. We like, it's a little fast. So we slow it down for you as much as we can. And these live streams, guys, you have questions. This is the whole point. Just like what Corey said, like, hey, we're here to, slow things down a little bit, make them more practical, I guess, actually how you would use it. Is it allowed to use external scripts or tools to connect to Taskade via the website and interact? Or is that against terms and conditions? I don't want to get banned.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess that's
like
what he
if
said that he
you
wants to do. He wants
yeah,
to. I
like
want to use my
in
Rabbit.
general, yeah, in general, I want to try to use my Rabbit R1 with the new LAM feature to create and interact with projects on my Taskade account. You can use the API to actually do this. So instead of having to essentially like instead of having to actually crawl the website and then interact with the nodes and everything like that, like what you can do is you can use our API. So that's the official way, and it's easier on us and less burdensome for us to handle too. Um,
Yeah.
but this is how you can access our API. It's free. Uh, I'm just going to show this here. You can just go to developers.taskade.com and then you can use it from there. That way, you're not harming us, and it's much more reliable and stable because if any of our endpoints also change, you'll get a notification for it.
All right. Makes sense. All right, cool. I think we have time for one more little question here, and then we'll probably wrap her up, guys. Possibility of connecting Taskade with Canva.
So, what are you trying to accomplish there? And the reason why I ask this is because if I know what outcome you're going for, I might be able to give you, not might, I'll be able to give you a better answer. Like, are you trying to import designs? Or are you trying to actually have a design software within Taskade?
Yeah, that'd be good to know. I'm not sure. Um, okay. Um, I guess we'll do one more question then. See if you answer. Adrian, let us know. Thanks for the demo. Is there a KB for all these automation logics? It can get really complicated.
Yeah. So you can actually visit our help center. And I'll tag that URL right now. If you go to help.taskade.com. Wow, I cannot type to save my life. If you go to help.taskade.com, you'll be able to access that information from there. We have a whole section just on automations, automation triggers, actions, and even the individual actions and triggers as well. So going into depth about it and any of the information that you really need is just within that section.
Okay.
And something last, the agents are multi-language, right? Yeah, you can define multiple languages with it.
So Adrian wants to import Canva designs
Okay.
into Taskade.
I think I don't think it's a remote. I would have to look at like Canva's API and see what else they offer too, because we can we can definitely look into building some of these integrations, but there's like so many different use cases and so many just
Yeah.
cases in general. So it's like, okay, importing designs. What kind of designs are you trying to import? What kind of file are they? Is it a video? There's like limits on it. Like there's a lot of technical stuff that goes
Yeah.
into that. But
I guess it sounds like he
that's
wants it
good
to
to
be
know.
like, yeah, it sounds like he wants it to be like a Google Drive almost, or like you can just
Mm.
grab his Canva stuff that's in there.
Yeah, like some
But,
people might want where
yeah.
it shows a link preview and they could click on it. Like
Mm,
there's a lot of different things for it. But
okay.
there's a great place to actually let us know about those, which is
Yes.
taskade.com/feedback. We look at all of these. I personally respond to a lot of them. So, and our engineers look at it as well. So, definitely
Yep.
leave us feedback. We're pretty receptive and open to it. And a lot of these changes do happen because of like feedback that we're receiving as well.
Absolutely, guys. Well, great. That has been a lovely Thursday live stream, and thank you for joining us. We do this every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific, and we're on, I believe, all the major channels. So yeah, wherever you want to watch, feel free to join us, and you can also catch our previous streams. What is that actually? What is that link? I want to share that link. It is basically it's youtube.com. Just make sure I got it right before we let you go. It's like it's streams. Is it streams? What
I
is
think
it?
they call it lives.
They call it lives.
Oh,
Okay.
it is streams actually. My
It's
bad.
streams. Okay. All right, cool. So that's the link. So I'm just going to share that with you just in case if you're watching this on X or anywhere else, or if you want to bookmark that as well. Yeah, thank you guys so much. So automate your X, formerly known as Twitter. That's ready to go. Give it a try. If you're brave enough, go for it. And and definitely play around with agents. I really am curious to see how people start sharing them. Our goal is actually to have agents be more communal, like have it be a community where you can whatever you want. Maybe you want to monetize them. Maybe you want to just use them for your clients. Maybe you want to share them with your friends. Maybe you embed your agents on your website. Whatever that is, we'd love to hear about it. So feel free to reach out. You can always send an email to either myself or Narek, or you can also send an email to, I'll just put this one here. It might be easier to remember, but social@taskade.com. Feel free to, send us anything there. And if you are like a power user who has a really cool use case, you can also reach out there if you'd like, or to either one of us. And you want to come on the live stream and show it just for like 5-10 minutes, show us what you're doing. We'd love to have you. So
Yeah,
let's keep it
definitely.
interactive.